All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the midweek fundamental and technical analysis. Before I jump into it, let me give a quick disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this analysis is for educational purposes only. I repeat, this is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this analysis is for educational purposes only. Cool beans, cool beans. Let's get into it. So, looking back over the pre-week analysis and the beginning of the week analysis, I told you guys that my bias for the dollar index was bearish this week. I clearly had these relative equal lows here outlined on the pre-week and beginning of the week analysis that I dropped Monday. And I told you guys that I expected us to run these relative equal lows. And I told you that this swing low would be our second point of interest, right? And I told you that our third point of interest would be this blue shaded area here, which is a weekly fair value gap. Let me take you to the weekly time frame for a moment so you can see that. Boom, there she goes, right? So we have achieved the first point of interest here, right? And now I would like to see these relative equal lows in this swing low here, rent. And if we run that, I expect price to go ahead and drop down into that weekly fair value gap. So um, the first half of the week has been spot on according to my pre-week and beginning of the week analysis. So let's see how the rest of the week plays out. So with that being said, let's look at our currency pairs. Of course, if I was bearish for the dollar to begin the week, we know that currencies are inversely correlated with the dollar. So we know that if I was bearish for the dollar, then I am bullish for currencies this week. Um, I told you guys that I wanted to see us Friday, we was here for last week, right? So we opened up here this week. I told you guys that I wanted to see us run Friday's buy side liquidity and the previous week's weekly buy side liquidity, right? We we straight up demolish those levels, right? Ran through those very aggressively, right? I told you that this okay. I was like, where is this line coming from? But that was the old yearly high um that we ran through in July. As a matter of fact, I need to just take that off because that's no longer relevant. This is the new yearly high, as a matter of fact. Let me go ahead and straighten that out right now. Right. So there won't be any confusion. All right. So um I'm looking at these relative equalize. I'm looking for these relative equal highs here to be taken out next, right? And then this is my final point of interest for Euro USD that I would like to see price run up into, right? Which is these relative equal highs in this SIBI, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, as coined by my mentor, Michael Huddleston. And so far this week, the analysis has played out according to my prediction. So I'm interested to see if Euro stays above the weekly buy side liquidity throughout the rest of Asian markets tonight and throughout London markets tomorrow. If we stay above that weekly buy side liquidity, that's confirmation that price is willing to go higher and wants to go higher. Cool beans. Cool beans. Looking at the pound next. Same thing. We know the pound is inversely correlated with the dollar. So being that I was bearish for the dollar, you know that I'm bullish for the pound. I wanted to see us run Friday's buy side liquidity. And these relative equal highs here is my next point of interest that I would like to see price run for GBP USD. That's about 126 pips away. Pay attention to this fair value gap right here. And if price comes back down into that fair value gap throughout the rest of the Asian markets tonight and throughout London markets in the AM, right? We could see price do something like this, of course, and continue higher, right? So just make sure you're paying attention to this daily fair value gap because we could easily see price pull back down in there and then continue higher, right? Now, if we break through this daily fair value gap aggressively, but not only break through it aggressively, we need to close below it after we break through it aggressively. If that happens, then of course I will start looking for areas of sell side liquidity for price to run, right? Whether that would be Friday's sell side liquidity in this area of imbalance here from, I'm sorry, I call this Friday's sell side liquidity. I meant to say yesterday's sell side liquidity, Tuesday's sell side liquidity, and this fair value gap here from Friday's price range, right? That's if we push through this daily fair value gap aggressively and close below it, then I will look to run Tuesday's sell side liquidity and potentially come down into this daily fair value gap that we see here, right? But my bias remains bullish for currencies for the week, and this is my target, my next point of interest to the upside, and this would be my final point of interest that I would like to see price reach for. Cool beans, cool beans. Moving forward to NZD USD. Same thing. We were bullish starting out the week in the pre-week and beginning of the week analysis. And I told you guys that I wanted to see us for NZD USD, right? I wanted to see us, where's Monday? Run this buy side liquidity here, right? Which we got really close to today, right? We didn't run it, but we got really close to it. But ultimately, I want to see us pull up and I want to see us push up into this SIBI, right? This SIBI that we see in the form of a fair value gap here, a daily fair value gap here, right? I also told you guys that you can see this daily market maker buyer model that's setting up or forming, right? We see our original area of consolidation here, right? We see which is the accumulation, right? And we see the manipulation here with this down move. And now we're seeing this distribution back up to the original area of accumulation. That is that AMD or market maker buyer model that we're seeing there, right? Cool beans, cool beans. So everything going accordingly, according to the pre-week and beginning of the week analysis. So far, so good. Um, Looking at E-mini S&P 500 futures, um, I told you guys that I was bullish, right? And I told you guys that I wanted to see us reach up into this daily volume imbalance, right? And ES has been, we did run the weekly buy side liquidity. Like I said, I wanted to see, right? We got this long wick today with the high impacting news that we had come out today, right? But we have been holding above um we have been holding above the daily PD arrays, right? And I told you guys that I would like to see price hold above these PD array levels. I did not want to see us break below them and close below them, because if that had happened, then I would expect price to run down into these weekly PD array levels, right? Right. So Monday, we respected it, right? Pushed up to run Friday's buy side liquidity, right? And then yesterday, we still respected those PD array levels, right? And today we ran that next buy side liquidity, which was the weekly buy side liquidity. Tomorrow is a kind of tricky for me because we know that Thursdays typically um, acts as a reversal day, right? But we haven't really seen a trend this week, right? So could the reversal be? Could the reversal be coming down into the weekly PD array levels, right? Or could tomorrow just not be your typical Thursday reversal day, and we could see high impacting news that we have tomorrow go ahead and run us up into this daily fair value gap? I don't know the answer to that question. So what I would do is allow Asian markets to play out tonight, see what happens during London markets in the morning, right? And we know that more than likely, whichever direction the market is trending in during London markets, it's going to continue that trend during New York, at least AM market, right? We could see a reversal in the PM, but 90% of the time, whichever direction the market is trending in during London markets, that AM session, 90% of the time, is going to trend in the same direction. And most of the time for PM too, but sometimes we do see a reversal, right, for that PM session. So just, be aware of that, right? We could see a continuation of the London trend for the New York AM session, right? And then see a reversal for that PM session. So let's just see how price action plays out the rest of Asian and for London in the AM. And then you should be able to tell according to your levels and what price and how price is reacting to those levels, whether we're going to continue to the upside or whether we're going to sell off. Cool beans, cool beans. And last but not least, NQ, same thing. I told you guys that I was bullish for NQ this week, right? Because futures are, normally inversely correlated with the dollar. So the dollar's bad. If I'm bearish the dollar, then I'm bullish futures. And so we did get the run of Friday's buy side liquidity as well as the weekly buy side liquidity. So I'm expecting us to respect this volume imbalance that we broke through, that we've been respecting for 1, 2, 3, 4 days now. And I expect to see price continue higher to making a new all-time high for E-mini NASDAQ 100. So that will conclude the midweek technical analysis. At this time, I will pass the mic over to Carmen so she can give us that saucy midweek fundamentals. It is all yours, Carmen. Give me a second to give you permission. It's all yours, Carmen. If you're talking, we can't hear you, Carmen. Just checking.